Hey, hello everybody. This is Kip from America Bumper to blah, 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 blah. Kip from America Bumper to Bumper, and are on another one of our Friday night live streams. Gonna give a minute or so, see if somebody jumps on, and then we'll get into more of this. Um, give you guys an idea for when this goes later. We're going to talk, there's potential of some mid-engine Corvette news. We'll talk briefly about that. I'm going to also show you the weirdest Porsche I have ever seen. I'm going to talk, again, fairly briefly about a dealership in Arkansas that was sued for an insane amount of money. Super Speeders Rob did a video on that, I believe it was yesterday. We're just going to touch on that. So a little bit about, we got Ford news, both recall and a couple other things. We've got something about South Korea. Let's see. Finding BMW. A little bit about NASCAR. And we'll see if we get anywhere else from there. All right. So, first story. If any of you are following the mid-engine Corvette info, this I found on Jalopnik, posted at 2:30 this afternoon, so it's fairly fresh news. According to them, there is a user from the Corvette forums, Zerv02 or Zervo2, something like that, who has dropped a very mysterious and cryptic tease on the boards. This is actually posted up yesterday. And the gist of it is this user is saying that they're actually going to be revealing the mid-engine Corvette at Detroit. So this is after reports, saying that there's electrical issues and they're not going to be showing the car until like summer at a specific event, just for the Corvette. But so we'll have to see whether this guy's right in 10 days or so. So that'll be very, very, very interesting. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to see a reveal soon, or do you think it's going to be this summer like most everybody else is thinking? I think it'd be great if they showed it at Detroit, because that's GM's home. And if not there, then New York would be, I think, the next best place to show it off to the world. I don't know. Detroit actually might not make a lot of sense, because I know that there's a lot of companies are deciding not to go there this year, because this is going to be the last year where the show is going to be in January, starting in 2020. I said last week it's going to be a June show, which I think is going to be a lot better, because if anybody's ever been to Detroit in January, the weather is a lot like where I am in Vermont. It's cold. Very cold. This year is very, very much an exception for us here in Vermont. We're not nearly as cold as we have been in previous years. We barely have any snow, at least where I live. So that's kind of interesting. All right. We're going to stick with the some Chevy news. How many people out there are fans of the Michael Bay Transformers movies? Well, I like the first two. The other ones aren't, But anyways, you can now buy 4 pieces of Transformer history at Barrett-Jackson this year. Barrett-Jackson runs January 12th through the 20th. And at that show, you will be able to buy 4 Bumblebee Camaros. These Camaros were featured in each one of the films. Here comes the Transformer fan. We're going to be playing the lottery, hoping we win so we can go and buy these things. But anyways.
I think that's a favorite.
Yep. We'll show you pictures of it in just a second. But anyways, there's 4 cars that they used as the main vehicles, main Bumblebees in the movies. There's a 2010. Let's see, gotta make sure I get it right. 2010 model that was used in the first 2 movies. Both of them are this one is V8 automatic. First one was in the 2 movies. Has what they call gaudy wheels. That's Transformers and Revenge of the Fallen. It was modified a bit for the second film for an updated look. Next up is another 2010 car. This one was featured in Dark of the Moon. This one is a bit more aggressive in style with a big wing and tall hood. Then we have a 2013 Camaro. This one was in Age of Extinction. This one has the concept car look to it. And then the final is kind of like what we have now. Actually kind of previewed the front end styling for the 2019 Camaro. Now look at it. So let's flip you guys around and show you the cars. There's 3 of them. This one, I believe, was one that was used in the first 2 movies. Then here and here. This is the concept one that it was used in Age of Extinction. Then you got the newer one. Let's see. Oops. Get rid of that. Let's pick up the pictures here. So that's the gaudy wheel car that was used in the first 2 movies. Another look at it from the front and the rear. This is the second 2010 model that was used in the 3rd movie with the hood bulge and the big wing. Number 4 movie, the concept car look. I think it's kind of cool. And then we've got Last Night. And this, as we get to the front, kind of looks a lot like the front end of the 2019s. A little bit different, but bow ties down on the bar. So I think that it's pretty close. And there's the back. Now, there is one little caveat with the purchase of these 4 vehicles. Number 1, well, actually 2. 2 caveats. Number 1, these are all being sold as one lot. 4 cars for the price of 1. Second little issue, they come with scrap titles. So, according to Barrett-Jackson and what I read, they are for show only and cannot be registered for the road. However, every state has a little bit different laws on what can be titled and what can't be titled. As far as scrap, you might just have to get it inspected. Hey, how's it going, Walt? Hey, Jason. Thanks for showing up. You guys that just came in. Talking about the Camaros from the excuse me, former movies that are being sold at Barrett Jackson coming up. GM is selling these cars. Let's see, and this is the fourth one that they're selling. They're all being sold as a lot, all four of them together with scrap titles. Again, that might not mean anything to you depending on where you live, because each state has a little bit different law on, what you can do with a scrap title car. Some states, you might just need to show that the cars are, meet emissions or meet safety, all that sort of stuff, and might be able to get those licensed. Other states you may not be able to. So if you're rolling in the money, and by the way, as I said earlier, I am playing the lottery, because if I win, I'm gonna go to Barrett Jackson and buy these cars, because my daughter would kill me if I didn't. So any guesses on how much these are gonna go for when they get sold? Now, being scrap titles, maybe not much, but then again, for Camaros that have the provenance of being in the movies, I mean, these are actual movie cars. They're not like just lookalikes. These are actually the cars that were featured in the movie. So start saving the pennies. You've got 10 days. Sorry, not even 10 days. 8 days before the start of Barrett Jackson. I'm not sure. Let me skim through here again. Okay, these are going to go across the stage on January 19th. So you have 15 days to come up with a buttload of cash so you can buy them if you're interested. All right, as I said a little earlier, so again, it's something I'm going to talk very little about, because Super Speeders Rob Ferretti made a video on this. Makes complete sense. So head over there and see that. Yeah, those cars are really nice looking. All four of them. Definitely like the last car the best, which looks a lot like today's new Camaros. All right. So what Rob Ferretti at Super Speeders Rob. Gosh, I can't speak tonight. And I haven't even had anything to drink. There is a dealership in Northwest Arkansas that has lost a lawsuit, and now is going to have to pay $5.8 million to a gentleman who bought a Ferrari off of them. I think that's a bunch of BS. I think it's insane, especially when you hear that this guy bought the car with a pre-purchase inspection, which you should do with any car like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the movie cars are going to go stupid, especially when you get all four of them. They're not going across the block individually. All four of them are selling together. It's definitely going to be in the millions. So anyways, this guy bought a 07 Ferrari F430 for $90,000. He took the car. The guy never actually visited the dealership, but the dealership sent the car to a Ferrari dealership in Texas to have it do PPI, and they apparently sent it back saying it's a good car, go with it. And the guy bought it, took it home, started smelling gas. A whole bunch of stuff ensued, and then he decided to sue the Mercedes dealership that he bought it from, and won $5.8 million. He won the case and received $6,800 in compensatory damages, a little over 13,000 in incidental damages, and 5.8 million in punitive damages. I don't know, gas, he want, anyways, you want a better, understanding of what was happening here, go over to Rob Freddy's channel, Super Speeders Rob, and check out what he said about it. Insane. Absolutely insane. All right. Yesterday, the Drive website said, came out with what was the number one selling pickup truck, and that number one selling pickup truck for 2018 was, drumroll, again, the F-Series. 42nd straight year that Ford has won the sales, top sales for the pickup trucks. And how's it going, Sean? Thanks for stopping in. Yep, so Ford Series, F-Series, number one selling truck, 42 years in a row. Now, if you're a Chevy guy, you can come up with a bunch of different reasons why, they're the best selling in, for the past 42 years. I am a Chevy guy, but I'm not going to get into that because, we're not going to go there. Yeah, no problem. This is Kip, and don't worry about names here. We're all good. Just happy that you showed up and you're here to watch a bit. I really appreciate it. All right, so F-Series, number one selling truck again. But on the flip side of Ford, they are recalling nearly 1 million vehicles over a potentially explosive airbag inflators. This is more Takata airbag crap. Ford has announced they're recalling 953,000 vehicles worldwide, including 782,000 in the U.S. over the inflators. It is a part of the larger Takata airbag recall. What they're recalling now is 2010 Ford Edge, Lincoln MKX, 2010 and 11 Ford Rangers, 2010 through 12 Ford Fusion and MKZs, Lincoln. The 2010 and 11 Mercury Milan. I didn't realize Mercury was still around in 2011. Anyways, and the 2010 to 14 Mustang. So you can get it replaced for free. Yada yada. Takata is having a bad bit of time. All right. According to 247wallstreet.com, South Korea is levying a $10 million fine on BMW. Why do you say? They're alleging that the company tried to cover up faulty parts related to some 50 incidences of spontaneous engine fires. According to Yonhap news agency, BMW knew about the problem in 2015, but a recall was not announced until August 2018. BMW's problems don't end there. CNN reported Monday that the Ministry of Land Infrastructure heated tailgate. Ooh. Referring to the case, the prosecutors who will determine whether or not to file criminal charges against the automaker. Government-led investigation determined that the exhaust gas recirculation, the EGR system, was responsible for the fires, as it and in October they were retrofitted with cooling devices to the EGR system to prevent the fires. So BMW in a little bit of hot water. Okay. Yeah. Hands warm when you're pushing it. So Jason, you must be a Chevy guy too, or at least not a Ford guy. I think you actually, I do remember you saying something about you really want a square body, Chevy. Yep. Yep. Those are do hold a nice soft spot in my heart as well. I will own one someday. Actually, what I want is the 3+3, the crew cabs, square side bodies. When I was a kid, we had many faves. Yeah, yep, yeah, that is very true. I'm a car geek, through and through. There are some certain cars that I do love more than others. Dude, no, Sean, I have. I don't know if you've looked through some of my back videos, but I got an '80s Ford for you. '84 Lincoln Continental Giovanni edition. So it's built on the Fox body chassis. So theoretically, any Mustang part, I sell them all. Yep, that's the thing. When you got a dealership, sell whatever whatever goes out the door, and you're happy about it. So I got the 5-liter rear wheel drive. It's awesome. Yep, F 250 with the Windsor is a beast. I had one of those as well. Actually, no, I didn't have the Windsor. I had the straight six in the F 250 that I had. Zelda is a hot rod Lincoln. That's what I'm hoping for, to get eventually. It's in the works. I, of course, need this to grow a bit or to get a really good job that pays a crap ton more than any other job I've had. But we'll get there. She's a work in progress, and I love it, and she's not going to go anywhere for quite a while. So anyways, back to the story I was starting to tell a minute ago. When I was a kid, we were friends with a family who, again, they were massive. Father sons were massive in the cars. The father owned 3 square body crew cabs. He had 2 or 3 early 70s El Caminos. They had a early 70s C10. They also had an early 70s Blazer. They had everything. Now, we moved from New York, where this family is, to Vermont in 1985. My dad unfortunately passed away in 1989. Mother remarried a couple of years later, and then it was probably 1992-ish. We went back to New York to visit this family, and the father offered to sell my stepfather at the time one of those crew cab Chevys. He said no, and I'm so upset about it, because at that point we had a Suburban, and he didn't want the extra length on over the Suburban, because believe it or not, the square side crew cab Chevys was actually a foot longer, one whole foot longer than a Suburban, which was massive in its own right. But this truck was insanely beautiful. I mean, not a speck of rust, very low miles. The friend of the family picked up this truck, and basically every truck, square side crew that he had, from a company that had a I don't know, research. I just want a Suburban, lifted or not. I just want a Suburban. Anyway, this company had owned an island in the middle of Lake Ontario. They had these square side crew cabs, to run around the island. The island's a couple miles, maybe, total, circumference or whatever you want to call it. So these trucks, very, very low miles. I don't think this thing had over 10,000 miles on it. And again, offered to sell it to my stepfather. He said no. I cried a little inside. Oh no, God no! Those things were 8-foot bed. The crew cab. I don't know. It's like 23 or 24 feet long. I actually think the bed actually might be a little bit longer than 8 feet, but I can't say for sure. But it was a massive, massive vehicle, and I cried, and I cried. But that's the ultimate for me. If I could find a 3+3 in decent condition, I would be all over that thing all day long. So apparently, the Xfinity series of NASCAR is having some issues. This story from Yahoo Sports says the Xfinity series is losing cars at an alarming rate to start 2019. Chip Ganassi Racing said Friday the team won't be fielding a Xfinity Series car for 2019. Statement comes weeks after primary sponsor DC Solar was raided by the FBI. Ouch. Due to the lack of sponsorship funding, we will cease operations of the number 42 Xfinity team for 2019. Difficult decision for me to make, but it comes with much anguish as this is a championship caliber team. They won 6 races and finished second in the owners' championship. So that's pretty devastating for a team of that caliber. Let's see. The news of Chip Ganassi's racing full-time departure from the Xfinity Series comes not long after Roush Fenway Racing said that Roush would not field an Xfinity team either. Team ran 2 cars in 2019. So, bummer for racing. Now, I know that over the past 10 years, 15 years or so, viewership and attendance to NASCAR races have, gone down the toilet. If there was a racing series that you would like to, see trying to kind of take over the airways, get more primetime spots on, say, NBC, ABC, whoever's running NASCAR, right? The NASCAR races right now. What would those races be? Yeah, that is very true, Sean. Yeah, all of NASCAR is in trouble. I do think that once they started going with the car of tomorrow and all this other stuff, where the cars don't actually look like. There was a huge thing about the racing on Sunday, sell on Monday. People saw the back in the 80s the Aero, Monte Carlos, and Grand Prix. They saw those, they got excited about it, they wanted to go buy it, and they could. Same thing definitely in the 70s when you've got something like the Superbird or the Dodge Daytonas. I mean, that was a time when stock car racing was really, really awesome. And that's where I think I'm kind of leaning towards is I like the was it IMSA racing? Nothing because all sports that end up on TV become nothing but an ad market instead of a sport. Very, very, very true. If they could focus back on the racing and on the cars, that would definitely be a whole lot better than what we see now. Every year or 2 years they're changing the points schedules, how they do the points and all this other crap. Really is what took me out of even trying to watch it. Then again, I haven't watched NASCAR probably since Dale Earnhardt died back in however long ago that was. Excuse me. Yeah, so I think IMSA racing, maybe some Le Mans type racing. Should get some more tube time. At least those cars look a lot closer, especially something like the Porsche. Last thing holding me to it was Gordon. Yep, Gordon was one of the last greats. I think once him and Dale Jr. They're both out. Jimmy Johnson, I think, still hanging on for dear life, but I don't even think his level of fan excitement is anywhere near what it was 15 years ago. But anyways, have gotten a whole new respect for racing, like the autocross racing that I did do a lot of videos of. All the new guys are nothing but a pretty face, yes. Yeah, and that's what, again, what you were saying earlier. It's now, all about, selling whatever products the sponsors are dealing with, and not the, let's see, fans now driving SUVs. Yeah, no. You'd think that the Craftsman Series truck, races would be more popular since everybody's buying trucks and whatnot. But even then, they don't look like trucks. Trophy trucks, those are cool. I'd love to go down to, Baja and watch, the trophy trucks go, because, again, they're not real, trucks. They're purpose built, but at least they look a little bit like what you can, buy off the showroom. All right, we're gonna show you the weirdest Porsche I think I have ever seen. There you go. Yep, I agree with you, Sean. I think that stuff like autocross and homegrown, small track stuff is a lot more interesting than anything NASCAR related. So, weirdest Porsche I've ever seen. This is a Porsche 924. So this is, predates the 944, although that looks a whole lot like a 944 front end to me. DP Cargo. So what is this thing? Meet the Gordon fans. Yeah. So this particular Porsche, it is one of 10 that were converted by a company called DP Motorsports back in, the late, this is 76, I believe. Yep. 1976, Porsche 924. It was converted to the cargo spec, is what that thing was called, in 1986. And what they did is they grafted on the roof of a Volkswagen Passat to give it the flat roof section. Now, in 1986, we did not get the Volkswagen Passat. We got, I don't know, did we get the, I'm not sure if it was the Quantum or the Dasher or something like that back in 86. Those were probably earlier. Anywho, yep, I agree with you, Jason. Ew. You could not pay me enough money to take that thing. Yeah, fast pizza delivery. Yeah, that is definitely interesting. All right, that's about all. Pinto. Yeah, I don't even think. I think the Pinto looked better than that thing, but at least with that one, you probably weren't going to blow up if somebody rear-ended you. So as far as the channel goes, I've gotten a few more subscribers since last week, so we're up to 254. Um, I really appreciate and very thankful for everyone who took the time to watch even pieces of the 2018 year in review. I know that was a long video. It took a long time for me to edit it and get it up and going. So this year, okay, one more news things that I'm sure you've already heard about, anyways. But yeah, well, I didn't really have any. I don't have enough subscribers to have to worry about the purge. But we're slowly getting more subscribers, so I'm always happy for that. So we're anybody that is following Salamandran, Alejandro Salamandran, as you may have seen on other sites, he was a lucky recipient of the McLaren Senna. Now, I watched a video of his earlier today. It's kind of an interesting story. McLaren wouldn't give him one, would not give him an allocation for one. He found somebody else that had an allocation and bought the car off of them before it was titled, before it was anything. So he was the only titled person of that car. However, drove about 400 miles on it, and the thing burst into flames. Don't know much about. They don't know what caused it to burst into flames. He didn't hit anything. His wife and he were in the car. They both were fine. Nothing happened to them. But the car is absolutely destroyed. So that he said something in the video that really stuck with me. It's basically to live 2019 the best that you can with do whatever you want, do as much as you can, and try to get all of your goals for this year and make it the best as possible. So that stuck with me, and I am very excited to announce that starting next week, I will be doing car review videos. I'm still working on talking with the new car dealerships, but there's a used dealership that I have a very close relationship with. I talked with them today, and they're going to allow me to go through their inventory, pick out a car here and there, and do what does a 20 say a Volkswagen Jetta, what's a Jetta like after 15 years of ownership and 150,000 miles, whatever it might be. So you can start looking for those videos sometime next week. They also are a dealer of travel trailers, and I'm going to do reviews of their travel trailers as well. So look forward to all that stuff starting probably Monday is when I'm going to go and do some filming, and they'll be up, I don't know, Tuesday, Thursday maybe, I'm not sure. But they will be up at some point next week, and I am super excited about that. It's also giving me a lot of motivation to go out and talk to the new car dealerships. That's another thing that I will be doing on Monday. I'm trying to set up some appointments and do this as formally as possible, so that that I'm not just some dude off the street that wants to take a car out and $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 vehicle and screw around with it. So see how that all goes, and we'll keep you guys all updated. What else? I think that just might do it for us for tonight. Thanks, guys, for sticking in with me and the great conversation back and forth. Really appreciate it. Can't wait. Please make sure I think I've got you guys all on the bell notification, so I know when new stuff is up for you. But I'll make sure that I do. But if not, make sure I know when live streams and all that stuff are going up for you guys, because I want to make sure to repay the favors of you guys sitting in and watching on a Friday evening. Have a night. Hopefully, it's a good one. Take care, guys.